Don't go away.
We're live. We're live now. Hold on. Mark's in the middle of telling a story, everybody. So just so you know, this is the great Mark Puttenvink out in Salt Lake City. Are you in Salt Lake City?
I'm in Sandy, which is 20 minutes outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And you're saying, let's get right at it. You set up a drill yesterday. You're helping coach kids. You set up a drill yesterday. And?
Yeah, well, kids are kids no matter where you go.
Yep.
Yeah. And
they just couldn't get it, or?
No, they got it, but it's just interesting to watch because we had the younger guys first, right? And it's just interesting to see how they react to a new coach and
new ideas and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, Nathan must have said that, I teach boxing and all that. So right away they all want to box. We're kind of here for hockey, boys.
How old are the kids?
Well, there's half a dozen teams, goes from 8 U's up to 18 U.
Good.
And 18 U's, they could play. I mean, we had practice. In fact, I got practice with them today at 2:30. But they're pretty good. Yeah,
now, are most of the kids all born and raised in that area?
There's some transfers, but most of the kids are from Utah. Yeah. So what happened here was kind of when they had 2002 Winter Games here. Mm-hmm. I was talking to one of the dads. He goes, I was in the 5th grade, and our field trip was go to an Olympic event, and the ones that went to hockey got an interest in it. So now you got, 1 or 2 generations since then.
I never thought of that. That's true. Yeah. So everybody, no, this is the great Mark Puttenvink. He has a company called Patriot Training Systems. Can train anybody, anywhere, any state, any universe, whatever it is, boxing,
below ground, anywhere.
Right. He was. People don't know this, but he was doing a lot of the training for the movie Matrix. Trained Keanu Reeves. Did the whole falling back thing and all. Yeah. Here's our buddy John DeMonte. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
He's got him and his wife there. Looks like they got the mask on, right?
Well, it's Halloween this week.
That's right too. Yeah.
I got a great costume for you. Do you have rollerblades? Did you ever get rollerblades?
I don't have now.
Go get a pair of rollerblades.
Okay. Barry Shelley, how you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Barry, good morning.
Yeah. Okay, get a pair of rollerblades, yes?
Yeah, be completely naked. And then you could be a pull toy.
A pull toy. I probably told you a story, but I haven't told it in a while. So I'm here in Greenwich. I have a place called Todd's Point. It's a beautiful beach area. But
you had mentioned.
Yeah. So several years ago, a buddy of mine, he's passed away now, Pete Knudsen, great guy. People don't know KNUD, UDSEN, fantastic guy. So we got into rollerblading around Todd's Point. It's I don't know, it's like 2 or 3 miles, whatever. It's a nice day, great scenery, women in their bikinis and everything. So one day I was in a mood, so I was going to go rollerblading by myself. And I was on a mission, something was bothering me, and I'm going. Nobody's getting in my way. So they have this one area where they put together, the parasails, with the surfboard and stuff. So they have to carry the sail across the road. It's probably, some cases 20 feet long, right? The pole. So a guy sees me coming, and I'm booking it. Now, granted, I do have time to stop. But I was in that mood where he now goes across the road. I'm going right through the pole.
It's his challenge.
Yeah. So I go through the pole, and he knocks me right in my rear end. And I go flying off in the dirt. It's like gravel and everything. Yeah. And this one kid, I don't know if I knew him or not. And he was so right on, although the timing was terrible. And he goes, "What are you doing?" It's like he was, because he knew he could see the whole thing. And I'm getting up and I'm mad and I'm going to straighten this guy out. And I was in shame, because he put me in my place too. So I had my tail between my legs and skated away like a little.
When they first came out, I bought a pair. And then there were Lang. Remember Lang?
Yeah.
And so I went to the schoolyard. I'm doing crossovers. I'm really going. I'm going. And no one told me you can't stop like you're doing hockey skates.
Yeah.
And I had 6 layers of skin removed when I went.
Oh, I know, right? So funny. And of course, we both have the attitude that we can do anything, it's fun, just jump on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was no one there to see it. So I did wince a little bit, a lot.
Yeah.
Like a little baby.
Yeah. Masquerade party. Excellent. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So there's a guy I became friends with on Facebook. I don't know how, but he's from Ontario, Jeff Fletcher. And he put up a picture today of, remember those plastic masks we wore with the rubber band string on them.
Oh yeah, sure.
And then like the odor after like 10 minutes of wearing that thing, where you're breathing into it, was just,
William Haynes, our veteran of beautiful Chicago.
And the Bears did what yesterday?
I can't remember. I know they played. I think they won. I think.
Hey, I'm not. Listen, I'm just going to tell you right now.
Right.
I do think we can still make the Super Bowl
With the Jets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it may deter like what year maybe.
Because tickets are still available. Like.
Yeah, definitely. Let's make sure we say hello to everybody here. The super agent, undercover agent Deb.
Yeah.
Actually, the Bears lost 30-13. We're getting told. Let me see here. What's your most memorable Halloween costume? Well, okay. So it wasn't necessarily my costume, but I had gotten introduced to back in the days. I was probably like my third or fourth year in the league. This beautiful model. Oh, stunning. And she had quite the physique on her. Mm-hmm. And I was going to bring her, I did bring her to a team Halloween party. And she was going to go as the Jolly Green Giant. So she had this super tight green outfit on.
There you go.
So that was my best Halloween costume ever. Oh, my goodness. The guys were like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, hey, you got to go for it.
Yeah. Julie Wolf was her name. She's actually a very famous model, too.
Julie Wolf?
Julie Wolf, yes. Sweetheart. She lives out. She's married now, kids and everything, lives out in Long Island.
All right.
Last I heard.
Yeah.
She's married, so. Yep. What about yours, Mike? Mark?
Mine, I think it was in fifth grade, something like that. My dad made me the headless dude. So what he did was he took a cardboard box.
Okay.
So that was like my shoulders and up to here. And he made like what are those, ascot or whatever you call them?
Yeah.
But I could see through it.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And they had something in town, like a parade of the kids. And I came in third place or whatever.
Third place?
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong? What? Michael Elwood, good morning to you. I remember he was just bragging about
gentleman. What was he saying last time?
What's that?
Elwood. Remember he was saying, what was it last week? He kept saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? That's funny.
I forget, but it was hysterical. Yeah.
Oh, that was funny. What's that about? Hopefully he'll remember. Bring that back.
He'll remember, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cam Scadaboo. Oof.
Ooh, that was nasty. Yeah. It's in my imagination, are we seeing those kinds of full displacement injuries more often? Like it seems like.
Well, the artificial turf.
Yeah.
How many careers is that going to ruin before they finally go back to regular turf?
I'm trying to think, like Dak Prescott there a few years ago, he did his.
Well, apparently what do we call it now? The Meadowlands? What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like guys don't want to go there. Like,
I know.
Don't have to play in it.
I hear Boomer Esiason talk about this all the time. Yeah.
The Philly flu.
Yeah. Well, that's one of us. Shane Gillis.
Yes. Yeah. That was awesome.
Let's see. William Haynes. He dressed up as Ogie Oglethorpe when he was in eighth grade. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So, man, why do the Rangers suck so bad?
Well, look. Interesting stat I read this morning. They have lost to 6 teams so far this year. Those teams of the 6, all of them were on an 8-game losing streak. They made Calgary look like the Montreal Canadiens from the 70s last night.
They couldn't all be because some of the teams the last 2 really haven't played 8 games. Or maybe they're on an 8-game losing streak now.
Yeah, I think I was some kind of stat like the Sharks and Calgary. But I watched the highlight. And one good thing about Utah, I don't get the live feed, so I can't torture myself. But I watched the highlights this morning. I'm like,
it seems, and again, now they're falling into a pattern of not being prepared to play in the first period, right? Which is
it just on every level.
Yeah.
Now you know, Zibanejad was -4. I know we don't live and die by stats, but after a while, you got to say, hey, bud, you know, whiffs on a shot, really lays down a back check, doesn't pick up his guy.
Yeah.
There's something really drastically wrong in that room. JT Miller, I thought he was the answer. I don't even know he's out there.
I know. If you combine last year and now this year, you kind of wonder what's going on.
It's almost worse this year, it seems.
Well, especially, in some
ways, you know. And Sullivan.
See, to me, and that's a great point. So Sullivan, obviously head coach. You would say, well, gee, he's the coach. He's not getting his team ready to play. Well, these are professional athletes, right? I mean, I think as a head coach, you have a certain role in that, but the guys have to get themselves ready.
They got to play, and defensively in their own end.
I know.
It's just
and there's been some talk that they've gotten much better. The danger is that because their goaltending is so good on most nights, that any deficiency they have defensively get kind of hit, right? So
I've always, and I think you're probably the same mindset. It starts at the net, and we go forward from there.
Yeah,
and in their own end, again, I saw last night. I don't know. Calgary had the puck, and two guys go for him.
Yeah,
in the zone, in the corner, and you leave it when what's the first thing you teach a center? Don't release from the post until your defenseman's got a 2-on-1 on him. If it's 1-on-1, let him battle. You see a lot of that. It's just
to me, when a team's not playing well, and the good thing happens is now they end up trying to do too much defensively.
Right.
So it's a good thing is they care, but it's hard to get it through to guys that defensively you don't have to be a hero. You just need to do your job, and everybody does their job, and you're fine.
It's really simple.
Yeah,
I mean, especially at any level. Like Bruce Driver, I remember we were working with the kids. He said, "In your zone, if you're not standing next to somebody,
find somebody."
Position. Yeah.
And recognizing who's the dangerous man to score. Like if somebody's got the puck in the corner or behind the net, and everybody's scrambling around, that's the time to calm down. That person can't score or shouldn't score. If they score from where they're at, that's
always problem.
Right. So, but again, I look at the positive of that is the guys care, but now, okay, you care, but slow down.
Yeah. Get back to fundamentals. Just basic, simple hockey. Keep it simple.
I know.
But I mean, there's plenty of time to turn it around, but you just question. There's a couple guys, Panarin and Zibanejad. I mean,
well, and now, and that's a good point. So now, if the team started off well, then everything's fine. So now things don't go well, and people are looking and saying, okay, what's going on with Lafreniere, right?
Oof.
What are you going to get from him? What's going on with that Adam Fox? And now the question is, is this the future of the New York Rangers with those guys there?
Yeah.
And
is it a rebuild or a retool? I
think
at this point, it's getting close to a complete rebuild.
Now, you look and say some of these games that they've lost and they couldn't score goals, but they had great chances. You say, well, now if they'd won some of those games, do we look at the team differently, right?
Well, and they'd be playing different probably too.
Yeah.
Everybody starts to squeeze a stick. And Laffy's getting chances, right? So eventually they're going to start to go in,
Well, did he get chances? Did he get chances last year?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And again, you get into one of those things where clearly he's shown his skill level. He can be a fantastic player.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're looking and saying, is it another one of those things where you're just better off moving this kid and getting what you can for him?
And I understand, like, when they played the Caps a few weeks ago, Lindgren stood on his head.
Yeah. Yep.
But guess what? This is the NHL. Every goaltender is going to be good.
Yeah.
It's not
when you start running into the thing where you have 3 or 4 times a goaltender is having the game of his year against your team.
It's not.
Yeah. It isn't always the goaltender, right? Yeah. Yes.
Well, my Jets, I didn't get to see the game. But
came back. Gutsy performance. I give the quarterback credit there because he got ripped by the owner.
Yeah.
Came back. How about, unfortunately, with the Giants, Scatterbo? Oh, we touched on that too with the ankle.
Yeah, but still, that's devastating because that really was. He was really becoming the face of the team, and
And here's the concern I have, like with the coaching staff. So the coaching staff's been here 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. Screwed up Daniel Jones. Now he's on the hottest team in the NFL right now. Yeah. Now you can't blame them all on that. He was hurt and all that kind of stuff. But now all of a sudden, 2 rookies, the quarterback and the running back, now have taken over your team to the point where a rookie running back gets hurt, and now everybody's devastated. That isn't really a good sign for the future.
Well, it gets back to, I think we talked about this last week, playing in New York. I mean, the Jets, Sam Darnold's done well since he left New York. when Zach Wilson was here, we didn't really talk about him as a football player. The media was talking about his mother. I mean, really?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe in passing you say, yeah, he's got an attractive mother, but that shouldn't be the focus.
I know. It became the focus.
Became the focus, but it shouldn't be the focus.
And now he went demoted to like the third string quarterback down in Miami or whatever. Right? So.
I think he's playing flag football in a men's league over in
Yeah, definitely. All right. So we touched on this before. And as you have one of the people in my life that's taught me to learn more, I've really gotten into studying the Matrix. Mm-hmm. And the meaning behind the Matrix. Like I've watched it before. I more thought, well, that's cool. He's leaning back, and bullets are flying around, all that kind of stuff. But now I've studied the meaning. Is he in he's in a simulation, and I really learned. It's kind of like a lot of life lessons I took away from the Matrix. Right? Basically, like the one point I got was where they said to him, "Don't think you are, know you are." Like he couldn't become the chosen one until he decided that he was capable of being the chosen one. So I think that's kind of with life, right? Like if you want,
absolutely. Right. And we've been very fortunate, you and I, to get to know some SEALs, and they don't question if they can. It's just they say I'm going to.
Right. Totally.
And I think I have a friend of mine that I grew up boxing with. And when he was 16, he went over to Europe to fight for the USA, and it was an amateur Olympic style thing. And he looked at when you're sitting there getting your hands wrapped, he said to the trainer, "You're not stopping me. The ref's not stopping me."
Yeah.
Because there was this big thing. Well, who's this 16-year-old kid? He was going up against a 30-some-year-old Olympian.
Sure.
Right? And did his business.
I think I told you the famous Robbie Ftorek, and I know you know him and love him, and I do too. So Robbie, for people that don't know, I played with him. He played many years in the NHL. Was famous for wearing the moon helmet, and I played with him at the end of his career here in New York, and then he coached me out in LA. Love the guy, fantastic. Herbie Brooks had this thing, or maybe it was Ted Sater, I can't remember, or maybe both of them, where they would break the game down or the season down into 4 or 5 game segments.
Right. Yeah.
So he'd get in front of the team and say, okay, how many games do you think we should win out of these 4 games or out of these 5 games? And when Robbie got determined on something, his face would turn beet red, right? And he was indignant. And the coach would come to him and say, now they stopped going to him after a while, because when they go to him, he'd say, all 4. Yeah. And the coach said, well, okay, but so no, if you're going to tell me what games, so what are we going to do? Win 3 games and then throw the 4th one and not try?
Right.
Said, no, if I go into 4 games, I go to win those 4 games. And it was so funny because the coach, I think it was Herb, I'm pretty sure it was Herb. And, Herb was of that same mentality, but he hadn't really thought through the whole exercise, I don't think, and realized he's got Robbie Ftorek.
I was going to say, well, if you look, to say he was undersized is and so he made it to the highest level in professional hockey.
Oh, yeah.
And excelled.
Oh, and super disciplined guy too.
Yeah. Man. And even in coaching, everybody I know, including yourself, that played for Robbie, does the same thing.
Yeah, even the guys like a Wayne Gretzky who didn't see eye to eye with Robbie and his mentality about 45-second shifts for everybody. Wayne was out there for 3 minutes. They had these big differences, but that they still loved him and respected him. That was the great thing about it, was that you could not agree with Robbie, but still have total respect for him. Yeah.
I'm very fortunate to work with him in Albany, and great teacher of the game. I mean, really understood it. And it's one thing to understand something, but to be able to teach is a completely different thing. And he had that skill set.
Yeah. He's a funny man. I was going to touch on, there's something. Oh, okay. So going back to, I know I sent you this video. There's the one part of the Matrix. I'm just totally got my mind on the Matrix, where the one bad guy, the devil or whatever guy's running the system, was beating up what was his name? Neo, right? Neo?
Something like Neo or whatever,
Right. And they're in the rain, and he keeps knocking him down. He goes, "Why do you persist, Mr. Anderson?" I think calling him Mr. Anderson was supposed to make him mad, because that was his life. That was his name in the other world kind of thing.
Right.
"Why do you persist, Mr. Anderson? You know you can't win. Why do you keep going?" And he gets up and he goes, "Because I choose to." Oh, man. I've got that on the loop now. So when I get up in the morning, I play that like for half an hour. I've got that going, just going and going. So
Well,
very cool.
I've been reading a lot, and I'm sure you know about visualization.
Yes.
And how important that is. And really cool story. There's a guy that was in the Hanoi Hilton, during the Vietnam War.
Yeah. Yep.
And he was a pilot, got shot down, and he played golf back here. And what he did was, he's in solitary confinement. It was brutal conditions, horrific conditions. He would play 18 holes in his brain every day.
You told me that. That's right. Yes. Yes.
And then he didn't touch a golf club for his total internment, which was like 7 or 8 years. Came back to the United States. His game improved by a couple of strokes significantly. And I'll never forget, goaltender is kind of a different breed, right?
Yep.
And Danny Blackburn sat next to Mike Richter, and he was starting a game, and he's sitting there and he's twitching. And I looked at Rammer and said, "Is he okay?" He goes, "He's visualizing the game, Mark." Yeah. And
you see some of the mental toughness. Like you think of a guy like a Nelson Mandela, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was in prison for 25 years or something. Yeah. And then he gets out, and instead of being bitter towards the people, he said, "No, I'm now the leader of this country. I want to do what's right for the country, all of the country." Right. Like it'd be a great lesson for our leaders now, right? Or I hate to say leaders.
Do we have leaders in this country?
I know. I hate calling them leaders because they're not our political or elected officials. To just forget about black, white, party, whatever. But it's really interesting to look at back, like to have the strength to see all the other chances that other leaders around the world had. But Nelson Mandela had the opportunity and took it to do the right thing. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's what was the movie about? And it's a true story about the guy was a runner and he was captured by the Japanese in World War II. I'm trying to remember the name.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was a perfect example of just.
Yeah. See the one in the movie where he was holding up the log above his head? There was a big scene. Oh, man, that was cool.
Yeah.
Oh. I tell you, the other, here's another, man, I'm getting to be a nerd. But I was studying about Singapore. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure you know this stuff, but you go back to the 1960s. Singapore had like a partnership with Malaysia, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Malaysia said, we're done. Because Singapore is basically just a small island with no natural resources. Right. It's a port. So they dumped on Singapore, and they're left. I think the unemployment rate was like 14 or 15%. So a guy who was from Singapore had left, had gone to law school, was a successful guy. This Lee Kuan Yew. I think he came back, was already there, and said, "Okay, I'm going to take over the country." And he was technically, I guess you would call him a dictator, but he wasn't a dictator in the way that he was trying to use the country for his own benefit. He said, "Right, we need to fix things." And he made it into what it is today, where now there's rules like no chewing gum. And some people would say, well, that's over the top. But the idea is, no, it's clean. He brought in he brought in like really successful people to say, okay, what do we do for our economy? So he was willing to not just say he knew everything. He was bringing in other people. So a really interesting story on the a lot of people who are like historians think he's one of the greatest leaders of all time. You don't hear about him too much because it's Singapore, but.
Yeah, we seem to have a lack of leadership.
I know.
I mean, it's just I don't even watch it anymore because it's just
I know
politics in this country.
It's just it's gotten to the point where we and I were. Let's be honest, we were both supporters of Donald Trump, and he's got a lot of good ideas. But I mean,
and again, it gets down to choices. It was either Donald Trump, or Kamala Harris.
I wish he would stop dropping feces from planes. Like I know it's like AI.
Yeah, and that's just something that's not going to change with him. I don't care for it. I think it's ridiculous, childish. Should be above it all. But look at New York City. You got a communist or socialist. You have
Nipple
a man who sent people off to the death during COVID. A lot of elderly people, and then you got a cartoon character. These are the three best people we can come up with.
I looked at the stats. They say on average for every mayoral election in New York City,
no one votes.
23% of that's registered voters. Of eligible voters, it's even lower because a lot of people don't.
It's about 7 or 8%.
Yeah. So like I saw one politician or some media say, well, this is representative of what New York City is all about. It's not representative of New York City. People just don't care. Yeah.
Well, I read something this morning. It's like 26.5% of people in New York City have been interviewed said we're leaving if he gets in. So, he keeps talking about raising money on the wealthy. They're all gone, buddy. They're all in Florida.
I saw him get interviewed. Now, he can be totally full of crap, but he quoted other people and other statistics saying, I know people say that, but that's just not true.
You can find any statistic you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, and what are, so if someone said to you and I, right, so you got two people, any kind of question, you're getting a sample of two people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I laugh at these polls, right? Like,
yeah.
They said that Hillary's going to win, or they said Trump's going to win. Or
did a 16-point lead the night before the election with Trump. I mean, you go to a college campus, and you're going to have a lot of Mamdani supporters. If you go to a construction site, not so much.
But you know what's interesting, though? These polls never seem to be accurate.
No, they're not.
But they keep going back to the polls all the time every time it's an election.
Like it's like really
true. What else is going on in the world? A lot going on in the world, right? So now they're going to draw China in to help in the negotiations with Russia and Ukraine.
That's another thing I don't really quite understand. Why our government keeps assuming that China is our friend and they're going to cooperate with us.
It's all money. It's all money behind the scenes.
And that they're going to be able to negotiate something with Putin. It's not going to happen.
Well, even with the whole Gaza thing, I mean, Hamas has already broken the ceasefire. They've both been bombing each other.
Nothing's changed.
I know.
I mean,
and again, I think we touched on this. It's great. There was these 20 hostages. They were released. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
But there's so many things going on with our citizens.
Well,
far more than 20. Kids being abused, homeless people, all this kinds of stuff. Another one. We're going to touch on Venezuela too, but go ahead. I know you want to speak.
Well, you're talking about the homeless, and so I do like the fact that Kash Patel. A lot of people don't like him. They finally went into Kensington in Philadelphia, where Kensington's been an open, much like the Tenderloin district in San Francisco. It's just an open drug market, and you can see people, like literally hundreds of them, standing in the middle of the street doing what they call the fentanyl flop. They're just standing bent over.
Yes, I've seen those videos. Yeah,
and you say to yourself, this is someone's child, this is someone's brother, this is someone's sister. Do we just give up on them? I mean, we talked about taking care of everybody on the planet, but you're telling me we can't do anything about this?
I know. Right?
It's almost like it's not in the news. Like
no one cares.
Yeah, the Israel Palestinian thing is so in the news, but in the grand scheme of things, is it really that big of a deal in our country? Right?
Yeah, we hear about and even globally. So you hear about Israel and Gaza, you hear about Ukraine and Russia. Since 2019, I believe, or around 100,000 Christians have been slaughtered. I'm sorry, more than that. 70,000 this year alone. 100,000 Christians have been slaughtered in I think it's Nigeria.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's so much.
And I'm not going to pick out people in particular, but where's the uproar over this?
Well, it's all controlled by our media. Like we react to what we're given, right?
Oh, 100%.
Right.
But I mean, the narrative that, so the whole racial thing, these are black people.
Yeah.
Where is Sharpton? Where are all these so-called?
Doesn't make anybody any money.
That's exactly what it is.
It was interesting. Somebody was asked, it might have been that Neil Tyson asked about going to Mars. He says, okay, that's not going to happen. He says, there's no money in it. Nobody's going to make any money, so we're not going. Plain and simple. It's just, Go ahead.
Why haven't we been back to the moon since 1960 or whatever it was?
Yeah.
Come on. We never went there. That's another one.
I know. I know we joke around about this, but what do you honestly believe now? Like
nothing.
Yeah, I know. Like, was Charlie Kirk really murdered by that kid?
Most likely he was, but I don't know if it was that kid or what. But the point is, they just lie about everything. Kennedy's assassination, the Gulf of Tonkin.
Well, I don't think I can't like the whole big deal about destroying the East Wing of the White House to put in the ballroom. Now, other presidents, I mean,
Obama put a basketball court.
Right. But okay, you told us a few months ago we're not going to touch the current White House.
Yeah.
This new ballroom is going to be beside it. You won't in it. I love the White House. I don't want to touch it. Well, okay.
But it is interesting to watch certain sector in this country losing their minds over it. But like 4 years ago, let's tear down every statue in the country.
Oh, I know. Yeah. It's yes. Like, to make sense, it depends on the day, right? I mean, it's what's the interesting story? What makes money for people? What gets our minds off something else that's really going on? That's really important. Okay, Venezuela.
Yeah.
So they're bombing these ships that supposedly are carrying deadly fentanyl and all that kind of stuff. Interesting video I saw yesterday where a guy went over. He said, "Okay, here's where they're bombing the ships coming out of these ports in Venezuela." And he said they're on their way supposedly to the United States. Mm-hmm. So he showed a map. He says, "Okay, the closest place they can get to is the southern tip of Florida, the Florida Keys, from where they're coming out." He said that's 1,700 miles one way. Right. These ships, they would have to refuel. They'd have to carry so much fuel, it just wouldn't be possible to do it. Yeah, now, there could be other options. They could have, going to Cuba or other places. But he said, and he showed a map. He says there's so many other places that Venezuela has fentanyl, there's no question, but there's a lot of other places in that region that have fentanyl as well.
Yeah.
So why are they going after Venezuela?
So Craig Carlisle, Randy Carlisle's son, is one of the coaches here. Pretty smart guy, real smart guy. We were talking about that. I said, Mark, it's about the oil. It's China, because China's in there now with Maduro. And that oil, so it's Russia and China that have an interest in that. Right. So is it about the drugs? In part, but it's really about getting Maduro out and having more of a U.S. influence. Right. So,
now with the soybeans too, like the soybeans here in the U.S., like the farmers here in the U.S. are getting screwed because of the whole Argentinian connection, right? Is that what it is?
Something like that. Yeah, that story I'm not completely familiar with. But what Carlisle said made sense. Yeah, it's not what. Yeah. And most of these things are what they say that it's about. Yeah, it's much more, because let's face it. I mean, we want to stop the drug flow. We should just send in our SF guys into Mexico and just wipe out every cartel there is. But
yeah. If it's exactly right. So if we think it's okay with no due process to now kill all these citizens of another country out in the water, open waters, because we say that they have drugs. Mm-hmm. If we say that, we really don't know for sure. Then why not just go into Mexico and kill all those people as well that are bringing in drugs? Yeah.
I mean, everything going on right now in this country is my opinion. This is my opinion on it. It's not what we think it is. This is outside influences causing all of this division in this country.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, the fact that people are protesting bad people being arrested, it's absurd. It's absurd.
I know. The other side of that is when you look at some of the videos of what the ICE guys are doing, they're not identifying themselves. They got masks on. Right. They're punching people that they may be saying terrible things to them, but they're not committing any crimes.
Well,
and they're just attacking. So they're attacking. Hold on, they're attacking these people on the street. So it's a two-way.
I respectfully disagree. One thing that we should all remember is if a law enforcement agent, whether it's a federal, local, state, whatever, is doing his job and you try to interfere, that's obstruction of justice, number one.
But what's interference?
Well, getting in his space or blocking the road when they're trying to go through and it's always the same people that are doing it. It's like, and again, I think it's outside influence.
There's some of that. There's paid protesters. There's no question. Yep.
As far as them showing their face, well, yeah, because they're doxing them and they're going to show up at the front door. Look what they did to Brett Kavanaugh. A kid drove all the way from California because they doxed his address. He went to kill him, right? So, I mean, the masking of the face doesn't bother me at all. How does that move the needle? I don't understand. Or how is that?
Because here's where we disagree, right? Yeah, so there's the videos of them. Again, I'm sure these protesters are saying some terrible things to the ICE agents. But it seems like there's an overreaction, a physical overreaction, where they're pushing down women, punching women, and there's no recourse. So these guys, they could be, and there's a lot of videos of this where people are following the ICE agents around. Mm-hmm. Now, at its face value, there's nothing illegal about that. So now the ICE agents are coming up to them and saying, we're going to throw you in jail, and they're all masked. So there's no recourse. You can't go and complain to anybody because you don't know who the ICE agent is. But
so here's the thing. A lot of these videos are very selective, number one.
On both sides. On both sides.
But here's where I have a problem with anybody interfering. it escalates, and we've seen what happened in LA. They're getting out of cars and opening fire on ICE agents. It happened in Chicago where they're ramming their car into the ICE agents' vehicles, and there's a gunfire exchange. So there's a point where you say, like, what is your point of trying to interfere with this?
Well,
what's the point?
The point is you think that our government is acting illegally.
But they're not.
Well, that's your opinion.
No, it's a fact. I mean, if they have a warrant for somebody,
but they're not acting. They're not. They don't have warrants.
In my view,
they don't have warrants on all these people. They're going to Home Depot and arrest.
See, that's a bunch of.
There's videos of it. It's the truth.
Yeah, because they have intel of some illegal criminal working at the Home Depot. And if you have, I'm going to respectfully disagree.
Yeah, we're going to disagree on that one. I think there's lots of cases on both sides. Some of the stuff you're saying, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I think there's a lot of other stuff that they're just randomly. I think they're abusing their power in some cases.
I mean, look, to say that there aren't isolated, but I think overall, the overarching thing is, as Tom Homan said, and a lot of people don't like this guy either, but 70% of their arrests are violent criminals. The other 30% just happen to be caught up. So in other words, if I'm in a car with somebody who's got a warrant for a violent crime, and I have a warrant for a speeding ticket, and I get caught up in the middle of it, oh, well, I shouldn't be with that dude.
Hold on. So you get arrested because you shouldn't be with somebody?
No, because I have a warrant for. In other words, when you're an illegal alien, you're an illegal. You've committed a crime.
Right.
So by that statement, if you're with somebody who they're arresting that they've targeted, and you happen to be with that person, by the simple fact that you're an illegal alien, you get dragged into it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just.
I hear you, and there's lots of those cases. I think there's just a lot of other cases where they're abusing their power. I'm
going to disagree.
It's I think I see why they're sending in the National Guard to clean up cities and stuff like that. But again, it's how far does that go? It's like once you start that, once you go down that road, then where does it end? Right? That's the issue I have.
There's no end to it, all right, because of the volume of people. But I truly believe that what they're doing, their intent, is to say, we have no idea who came across the border. There's a girl by the name of Sarah Adams who was in the CIA. She says currently there's 1,000 Al-Qaeda terrorists in the country that just walked across the border. That's about 999 too many. Right? But going back to the original thing, there is no end to it, except to say that, I mean, if you want to get the people that are committing sexual crimes, violent crimes, murders, that are Tren Diagua, MS-13 members, by all means. I mean, we need these people off the street. Here's where I have a big problem with it. And maybe it's not apples to apples, but to me, the thing is this. There's always going to be collateral damage in warfare. And this is warfare. When you're going up against criminal organizations. Warfare.
Remember, you're on U.S. soil with U.S. citizens.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No, because, I mean, this whole separation of families. If you get arrested, you go to jail. Do you see your kids? They got to go visit you in jail.
But
okay, you're an American.
You're on U.S. soil with U.S. citizens being caught up in the middle.
Not one U.S. citizen that's been arrested.
Oh, Marky.
They can't be arrested if they're a citizen unless they're committing a crime.
but what's the crime? Following an ICE agent in a car?
If you're impeding their job and you're standing in front of that car,
no due process. But there's no due process. Sorry. The guy, I've seen the videos where the guy says, "You're following us. You're going to get arrested." For what? You haven't broken any laws.
I don't know about the law. I believe there is a law. It's obstruction of justice. In other words,
obstruction of justice is a wide-ranging topic.
Of course it is.
And you can. Okay, I'm walking down the street and I'm videoing a police officer from 100 yards away. Mm-hmm. He doesn't like it. He comes up. He says, "You're obstructing me. You're going to get arrested."
I haven't seen that.
If
you say, let me ask you this.
Yep.
If you're
I like you and I debating this stuff. This is
good.
No,
it's good. No, it's healthy. I mean, we all have different opinions. If you're a law enforcement agent, and better yet, you and I were in a car,
Yep.
I get pulled over for DUI.
Right.
And you get out and you say, hey, he didn't do anything wrong, blah, 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 blah. And they say, sir, step back. Oh, no, he didn't do anything. Sir, step back. The third time, you're going to get cuffed. Obstruction of justice.
Okay, what law have I broken?
You're obstructing the arrest of me.
So
You're interfering with their
So I've gotten in the way. I've gotten in the way of you getting arrested.
Correct. Yeah, it's a common thing. Obstruction.
Because why? Because I've objected verbally.
Yeah, if they say, sir, get back in the car, and they warn you 3 times, and you get out, you're going to get hooked.
Okay, but based on what law?
Obstruction of justice.
Okay,
They're
but how have I
performing their
obstructed the
duty.
justice because I got out of the car?
Yeah, yeah.
But how have I obstructed justice because I got out?
Because you're interfering with the arrest of a criminal.
But I got nowhere near you or the police officer. I'm just making comments. I'm verbally saying something. I've got the First Amendment right to say what I want to say.
You can say all you want, but don't interfere with the arrest.
How have I interfered with the arrest?
Well, if you get out of the car, how do we know? Let's say if I'm a law enforcement agent, you get out of that car, how do I know what your intent is?
So some guy walking down the street who's got nothing to do with it can be arrested because
if he interferes with an arrest, absolutely.
Okay, he's walking down the street and they could say, I don't know what your intent is, so I'm going to arrest you. You're obstructing.
No. You're misinterpreting what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, if there's an arrest in progress,
right,
and that man walking down the street starts to verbalize and starts to interfere, that's obstruction of justice. That's interfering with an arrest.
I think it's a very wide-ranging topic where it's to the
disagree with you. But
what's happening is that they're deciding that they're the juror, they're the judge, that they're going to make the decision out there on the street for themselves whether this person is guilty or not.
No.
Yes.
What I'm saying
that's why they're arrested.
If you get pulled over, and we're going to go back to the DUI. You get pulled over for a DUI. They take the driver out. They have him perform a DUI road test.
Yep.
If some guy's walking down the street and starts chirping, they're not just going to say, okay, come here, I'm going to cuff you. They're going to warn that guy, hey, sir, step back. Step back.
That's not what happens. I've watched the videos of it. In some cases,
are you talking about ICE in particular?
No, just in general. Yeah.
I'm not saying that every time it happens, it's not justified. But the overarching issue is you don't interfere. You have no business interfering with a police activity.
But what's interfering?
Well, that's for the judge to decide. Just because you get arrested for something doesn't mean you're guilty also. So if you get arrested for interference or obstruction of justice, now it's on the state to prove that you were. Right.
So they can handcuff you, throw you in jail.
Well, they won't throw you in jail, but they'll handcuff
you. For obstruction? Yeah. They handcuff you. What are they going to do? Handcuff you and then let you go?
If you're in New York or New Jersey, you can just about do anything you want to come on the street. Yeah, so it's a really complicated thing. I'm not here to say that every arrest is justified. But my point is this. When's the last time you tried to interfere with an ICE arrest? You haven't. So what are you doing? What's the end game here?
Oh, okay. Now, all right. So now bear with me.
Yeah.
You've heard of Rosa Parks.
Correct.
So some people would argue, Rosa, why didn't you just get up out of that seat and go sit someplace else?
I don't know if we can compare that to this, because this is, you're talking about a bus driver telling somebody where they have to sit. What I'm talking about is a federal agent performing his duties and someone trying to interfere with that. What is their point? What is their purpose?
Well, what's Rosa Parks' point of sitting in that seat when she could have gone someplace else?
I don't think it's apples to apples. We're talking about one thing is a constitutional right? And the other one, you don't have a constitutional right. You do not have a constitutional right.
You don't have the first. So you don't have the First Amendment.
You can say what you want, but I think what happens in many cases in these incidents with the ICE agents, they get right up in their face. And you know what? How do you? And they're in there. Okay, so what? And many times they're masked. Most of the people doing this, they're masked. No one seems to have a problem with that. And when somebody comes up to an agent and it's a heightened situation, and they get right here and they're really chirping, what would be your reaction?
Totally, I agree.
Yeah.
But that isn't always the case. There's lots of videos where people are keeping their distance. They're saying things. Like I said, I saw this video of the guy driving around following somebody, had not broken any driving laws at all. He was following the ICE agent. Was the ICE agent upset? Yes. He threatened him with arrest. He acknowledged he didn't break any laws. He was.
How do we know that? I don't know what
the ICE agent said. So okay. He said, "You have not broken any laws, but I don't want you following us. If you keep on doing it, you're going to get arrested."
Right. So here's what I'm going to tell you. When we have incidents like we had in LA, we have in Chicago, where they're actually ramming their cars into ICE agents, they're going to be pretty sensitive about somebody following them.
Okay. So when we have police officers shooting civilians are going to be pretty concerned about getting shot by police officers with guns.
When has that occurred?
Way more. Police officers shoot and kill citizens about 20 times more than police officers are killed by civilians. So it happens all the time.
They're better shots. I don't know if that's completely right, but
no, it is completely true.
Pardon?
Because I've looked it up. It's completely true.
All right, but all of those cases are individual. It's not like they're just going around, hey, let's kill that guy. I mean,
but you're saying the same thing with the ICE agent getting rammed. You're saying, well, that's an individual case.
All right, but
hold on, just because that ICE agent was rammed doesn't mean this ICE agent is going to get rammed.
So, do you know what the percentage of attacks?
Do you give me that? Do you give me that though? Okay, because one ICE agent gets rammed, that doesn't mean that every ICE agent.
Of course not.
Okay.
But here's the thing, Tom. There's been 1,000 or 1,200% increase since the beginning of the year on attacks on ICE agents.
Well, there wasn't any attacks on ICE agents before. They weren't doing anything.
Right. Well, but my point, no, there were attacks. Of course there were. Yeah.
But they weren't out in the streets like they are now.
Well, all right. I'm gonna test you here.
Okay.
Who deported 400,000 people? Who deported 3.1 million?
But this was.
Wait a minute.
It goes back. But it goes back. That goes back 8 years ago.
Okay, but who was making the arrests? ICE agents.
Yeah, but that goes back 8 years ago.
Obama running around.
That goes back 8 years ago. You just said at the start of the year.
Yeah. So in other words, since the start of the year.
Yeah, but you want to use that statistic. That's an Obama stat.
The reason I'm saying that is because there were no attacks on ICE agents when Obama was doing it, because they weren't being told to do this by the media and by the Democrat progressives.
No.
Tom, come on. He deported 3.1 million people. ICE agents adjudicated all those arrests. Right. No one had a problem with it. Not one Democrat stood up. Not one Hollywood person. Not one whatever stood up and said anything.
Well, to say not one, I'm sure there was others, but okay, go ahead. I do think there was, to the level that's happening now. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not comparable.
So my point is this: many of the ICE agents we see on the street now were ICE agents under Obama. Mm-hmm. They were able to perform their duties unimpinged. Now it's open season because the media, the progressives, the Chinese, the Russians, they're all telling you. And by the way, I forgot the name of the company, but there's more than one. You want to make some money in your retirement?
Yeah.
It's $500 a day to go.
But this isn't some new phenomena that's just happening now.
What's that?
This isn't a new phenomena that's just happening.
Well, it was Occupy Wall Street, then it was Antifa, then it was BLM. It's always been. Yeah. But it just, I find it curious that none of this happened under Obama. It only happens under the Trump administration.
Well, but there's different stuff. I mean,
what's the difference?
Okay, I'll put it to you this way.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters whether it's Democrat, Republican, Trump, Obama. We are bought and paid for by big money. All of these things happen based on all of these things happen based on money.
Well, the shutdown has nothing to do with medical. What the shutdown has to do with is the lobbyists that support the ACA are going to lose a lot of money. And those are the people that fund everything for the both parties. But here's the thing, Tom.
Hold on one second. I just want to show Barry Shelley, who we love to death. I support police 100%. The show what Sam says. And the police shoot far more civilians annually than civilians kill police officers. 223 alone, police killed 1,200 people, while on average around 42 officers were fatally shot by civilians.
All right, but again, let me just clarify something. As we both know, statistics can be used. So what does that statement mean? They killed 1,200 people. Were they 1,200 people just standing on a street corner? Or were they 1,200 people that were attacking somebody? Were they 1,200 people that came out of a building or a room swinging a machete at them? Like I know somebody personally that happened to, that they shot. So to say they shot 1,200 and only 42 law enforcement agents, it's not a statistic that means anything. Of the 1,200, how many were innocent?
But you got a number of 1,200 people in 1 year, 2023. You've got 42 in 5 years, from 2014 to hold on, please let me finish.
Yeah.
So even if you're in fact, not if you are correct, you are correct. some of those, you don't know what some of those killings were by police officers. It's still, let's say half of those were justified killings. You've still got a far more greater number. Hold on. You've got a far more greater number of shootings by police officers than you do civilians killing police officers. That's just fact.
Yeah, but what does that mean though, Tom? So in other words, it's like me saying,
well, because every time a police officer comes along and says, well, we have to care about our safety. It's police officer safety. Well, how about civilian safety?
But out of the 1,200, here's my question to you. Out of the 1,200, how many were not justified? That's my question to you.
Okay, so let's say half of them. I'm with you.
You're saying 600 people were killed by cops just randomly without any
justification. Have you watched the videos? Okay, how about the woman that she called the police? Mm-hmm. And because she had some mental health issue, the police officer came to the home. She was behind in the kitchen, a good 20 feet away from him. She had a knife. She didn't lunge at him. He saw her with a knife and shot and killed her.
All right. So
one case.
All right. Well, let's just go right to that story.
Yeah.
You know what the Tueller rule is?
The what?
Tueller rule.
No.
Tuel. Well, the Tueller rule, there was a law enforcement agent, I forgot how many years ago, did a study. They pressure tested it, and it's been done numerous times since then. Do you know that 21 feet in general, in 21 feet, I could be on top of you in less than a second and a half and be plunging a knife through your chest?
It's a woman.
Doesn't matter, Tom. She's capable of committing a murder as well.
He's got a taser. He can't find something else other than
taser will not stop somebody from.
Please.
But Tom, you're not.
Please, no, you're not listening. You're not listening.
You're not picking up on what I'm saying.
Well, you're not picking up on what I'm saying at all.
Yeah, I do. You're saying because she's a female, she's not capable of murder.
No, I'm saying
and that a taser is going to be the answer.
Many other ways to protect.
The thing.
Mark, stop.
No, I need you to understand.
No, I need you to understand something. There's many
listen.
other ways to protect yourself other than shooting a woman with a gun, a taser.
You have to pull out and deploy a taser. By the time you do this, the knife is in your chest. That's the whole point of the tool.
What's the difference? Okay. What's the difference between pulling out a taser and deploying it as opposed to pulling out a gun and deploying it?
Just a simple fact that, and here's the thing, even at 21 feet, I don't have time to pull my handgun out. By the time I draw my weapon, the knife is in my chest. My point is that the Tueller 21-foot rule states in general, and it's not 21 feet because it's been pressure tested. There was a case in Oakland, California, crackhead with a knife, further out than 21 feet. I think it was like 30 some odd feet. They lit him up, they killed him. His sister, the bad guy's sister, knew about the Tueller rule for whatever reason, okay? They went to court and said, hey, he was at 34 feet. They shot him at 21, not justified. You know what the court said? That rule is not hard and fast. It could be 21 feet. It could be 31 feet.
It could be 15. It could be 15 feet.
It could be 15 feet. The law enforcement agent has a lethal force presented before him and has every legal right to defend himself. All right. So the problem here, Tom, is that when we start looking at numbers, so 42 and 1,200, those are just numbers. They don't indicate. I'm not saying that every police interaction is justified, but to say that out of 1,200, 600 were unjustified, I just, it doesn't.
When I hear a police officer say, mm-hmm. These rules are made for officer safety.
Right.
I don't hear them say these rules are made for citizen safety. They don't. They talk
first
about,
of all, they're not rules.
Hold on. I let you finish.
Laws.
I let you finish. Okay. So they don't talk about citizen safety. They talk about officer safety for these rules. They don't. I watched the videos over and over. I know you don't.
Video was a video.
You got to listen.
Tom, let me just explain
you don't want to listen. You don't want to listen.
No, you're not. Let me tell you.
I just let you finish.
I just let you speak.
I just let you speak. And now I'm trying to speak, and you won't let me finish.
Because I want to just make a.
You don't want to listen to what I'm saying. This is the issue. You don't want to listen to what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying.
You don't. You're just arguing with what I'm saying.
Because you're not. Here's the thing, Tom. Anytime there's a gun discharge with a law enforcement agent, do you think they just go home and that's the end of it? No, the first thing they do, they get called in. They
get called in. The
so
person's dead.
By the higher ups.
They,
What
they,
happened?
they get called in. The person's dead. But they get called in. Oh my God, they're called in. The person's dead. The family member's person is dead, but they get called in. That's terrible.
You don't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is there's a very thorough review of what happened. And if it's found that it was an unjustified discharge of a weapon that ended up in a deadly event, that police officer, and it happens time and time again, is they now go before a judge. They then are sentenced. Okay. So it's not like they just go home and have coffee and dinner. There's a procedure that follows every shoot, even if there's no one shot. Just the fact that they discharge a weapon. In fact, when there is a shooting, you may not know this, they're offered immediate retirement because they understand the psychological.
Oh my God, that person's dead and they offered immediate retirement. You're not listening.
You missed my point.
Okay.
There's a psychological event that occurs with a police officer, anybody. And I tell this to people that have a gun in their home. I say, if you shoot somebody in your house and you call, you better order 2 ambulances, one for the victim and one for you, because this is not something. Think how many law enforcement officers you've known that went their entire career and never discharged a weapon. It's not something that happens all the time to every law enforcement agent. All right. You're talking 1,200 people out of how many people in the country? You follow what I'm saying? Or no? I can see you don't agree with any of this.
I'm not going to agree.
Yeah.
I think the big point I'll take away from it is, listen, there are plenty of cases on both sides where it isn't just cut and dry.
Nothing ever is in that kind of situation.
Right. But what and I'm with you totally. There's so many fantastic police officers that and you know more than I do. I know, and I see them doing so many great things. Mm-hmm. But having said that, and how the whole conversation started with the ICE agents and just general police officers in general, there are lots of cases where, and I think it's largely because they're not trained properly, that they turn to excessive force, deadly force, to protect themselves. They have families at home, kids, wives. They want to go home to their kids, to their families. But what happens is, though, the citizen gets killed. Now, there's sometimes where that killing is justified. There's other times where it's not justified. There's been plenty of opportunities that they didn't have to kill a woman. Now, for me, when I'm watching that, I say woman, when I'm watching that video, I'm watching not as a police officer, but I'm saying he didn't have to shoot her at that point. She wasn't lunging towards him. That's one case. But I just believe that when I watch these videos, but I just think in general, our rights as citizens are being taken away from us all the time, including our interactions with ICE, Homeland Security, whatever it is. So that's. But I'm not totally disagreeing with you and saying, and I get it. It's if a police officer shoots and kills somebody, it's a terrible thing. It changes his life. There's no question. But at the same time, he shoots and kills somebody, that person's dead. It doesn't just change their life; it ends their life.
Yeah, I just respectfully, everything's an individual event, and unless to form an opinion on this, I'm a civilian. I'm not a law enforcement agent, but I interact with them. I train them. I've studied this very intensely. The moment an ambush or any kind of situation like this occurs, there are certain things physiologically and psychologically that occur. Okay. You don't have the luxury of sitting back and analyzing. When someone's screaming, "I'm going to kill you," and they're standing there with a knife, and maybe they're 21 feet, maybe they're 31 feet, maybe they're 5 feet. You have every legal right as a law enforcement agent to light that person up. Every legal right. Now, if you don't like the law, that's something different. That's legislatively.
Okay, but we have the rights to do a lot of things. Doesn't mean we have to do it.
Again, Tom, all I'm saying is every single case is different.
Cool. Yeah.
We don't know the situation. You don't. So let's say in this particular case with this woman, I don't know her criminal background. Maybe going in, they knew her criminal background. Maybe she had a history of violence. There's a lot you don't know about, and I don't know about this particular story. Okay. And now I'll tell you another thing. They do a lot of pressure testing, or they used to, until somebody decided to defund the police, where they use simuation, which is a fake gun, but it shoots little rubber pellets. And they'll put an officer in. Sometimes it's video. I'll give you a perfect example. Walking in on a domestic situation. All right. Kitchen sink's there. The woman is by the kitchen sink. She's washing dishes. Husband's here. She's screaming at him. He's trying to kill me, kill me. All right. Law enforcement agent puts all his focus on the guy, because that's the way our brain is taught to read this. All right. What happens is she's the bad person. In the sink, she pulls out a big knife and slashes the cop. So nothing's ever quite cut and dry. And when you're in that situation, your heart rate goes up. When your heart rate goes up, you get auditory exclusion, you get tunnel vision. A lot of stuff happens to your body. Very, very difficult.
Right. And listen, there's no question about that. But I think this whole conversation started because we started talking about the ICE agents with masks on, assaulting people. And I've seen videos of them assaulting people. And I guess where you and I started to disagree was when you said, well, an ICE agent was rammed by somebody else with a car.
More than once, yeah.
So they should then look at, and I'm putting words in your mouth, so I'm not saying you said this, but I can't remember how I said, but it's basically, okay, so somebody else, one ICE agent was rammed by a car, then all ICE agents should be aware that they're going to get rammed by a car. And that's a stretch to me to assume that just because somebody, hold on, please let me finish, because somebody else rammed a car. It's like saying, okay, I pulled somebody over, I'm a police officer, I pulled somebody over for speeding the other day. Now I'm going to assume that everybody's speeding. It's just not reality, right?
Okay, here's, and I'll finish this whole conversation.
But you can't even say to me that you agree with that.
I don't agree with it, because here's
so you're saying, hold on. So you're saying that everybody, because the police officer pulls one person over for speeding, he should assume everybody's speeding.
Absurd. No, but what I'm talking about in this.
Okay, but hold on, please, let me finish. You can't agree that. So you believe that if one ICE agent in Chicago is rammed by a citizen, that every ICE agent around the country should be aware that they're going to get rammed.
100%, because their lives are at risk. Let me ask you this, Colin.
Okay, so hold on. So they then should violate the rights of another citizen who has no intention of ramming a police officer.
Here's what I want to say to you. How many times have you followed an ICE agent with your car?
0.
Okay. So you have no intent.
Right.
So that person that's, you say, innocently following an ICE agent.
Absolutely.
What is their intent?
To follow the ICE agent.
For what intent?
He doesn't have to have an intent. Why does he have to have an intent?
I'll leave it at this. He's interfering with law enforcement. What is his intent? What is his purpose?
He doesn't have to have an intent.
Then he's a moron.
Okay, but you don't get arrested because you're a moron.
If I have to respectfully disagree with you. There's no arrest.
So you can get arrested because you're a moron. So what law is that you can get arrested because you're a moron?
Obviously, there is no law. If you're a moron, you get arrested. I'd be in jail a long time ago. Here's my point. I'll end it with this. If you're interfering with a lawful execution of an arrest, you therefore have obstructed justice. That is a crime, and now you are liable to be arrested. Okay? Now, understand this. And I'll go back to Obama. 3.1 million. No one was interfering with it.
Nothing to do with the politics. We're not talking about politics.
It's all about politics.
No, we're not. I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about the law. Okay. You're telling me that if a guy's a moron following ICE agents, he can get arrested.
How many times was that person warned not to follow us? We're executing a warrant.
He can follow as much as he wants. Is he breaking any law? Is the question.
It's called obstruction of justice. It's really
not obstructing. I watched the video. It's not obstructing justice at all. The cop, the ICE agent said to him, "You're not breaking the law, but if you keep following us, we're going to arrest you."
But here's my.
Okay, but listen to that statement.
So that was wrong. I'm going to agree with you. That was
okay.
Wrong.
You finally agreed with me on something.
No, I agree with a lot what you're saying, Tom. But what I'm saying is you're pulling out of a bin one isolated incident,
yes,
and trying to make it sound like this is a
no, I'm not at all.
Well, then, yeah, obviously that particular agent is wrong, 100%. But here's the thing, I'm telling you.
Until that point, you were never willing to admit that an ICE agent was wrong.
And I'm sorry I didn't say that earlier. I do admit that particular issue is wrong. That one incident is wrong. I think the overarching picture is when you have law enforcement agents being rammed with cars, people getting out with handguns and opening fire, this is a problem. And my whole point to you is you've never done it. I have never done it. You know why? Because
here's the funny thing. You and I have gotten carried away. Can we please talk about hockey, please? Even Barry Shelley's saying, please say just something. You know what? I think they're not used to you and I debating something at all.
Yeah, we do it off air.
No, I like that we had a healthy debate, and that you know what I like.
Again,
here's what I don't
agree
like.
with you.
Here's what I don't like about a lot of debates that happen now. It's if I disagree with you, or you disagree with me, you're calling me an idiot, and I'm calling you an idiot.
Well, we're both idiots. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, I know. But I think that's the part that bothers me is like, okay, if you disagree on it, let's disagree. We can have a nice debate about it. It doesn't mean yeah.
Here's the thing too, Tom. You know, you and I talk about this a lot. So you saw a video, but we always say, I don't believe it. I don't believe anything, and yet I believe everything.
Yeah. Who knows? And you're 100% correct. That video could be AI generated. I'm an idiot. So
not even that, but again, you know, it's all about perspective. And we don't know the full facts.
Man, that was a good debate. That was good. Yeah. I like that. I got the blood pressure going on that one a little bit.
I was on the debate team. We had a bunch of people. It was a mass of people.
Seriously, were you?
Yeah, mass debate. It was a huge.
That's right. Shane Gillis would be. So.
Yeah. What about Shane Gillis?
Oh God, that's funny. Oh man, that's good. But you know, I do think it's interesting though that you and I, because we agree on so much stuff, that this stuff that's going on just in general is like, oh God, amazing stuff.
Air Bud got arrested this morning.
Who did?
Air Bud. Remember Air Bud? He got dragged into that gambling thing.
Did you see? I know it's funny. Did you see where it was also they're naming a football player now who was part of the gambling ring? He was one of the guys that they.
Well, let's not forget about Rick Tocchet and Gretzky.
I know.
And the state trooper from New Jersey.
And it was Gretzky's wife, right?
It was his wife, yeah.
Or so we're told.
So we're told. Again, that's what we're told. Who knows?
Hey, okay, let's get into this topic. I like this topic. So either the FBI is trying to send a warning, listen, knock it off.
Yeah.
Or well, I guess it could be both this. They've got so many, they know there's so many people involved in this. They feel like it's just, if we open up this whole thing, so many athletes are going to be involved. But I'm sending this warning.
Yeah, I think basketball is probably the easiest game to fix if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
With the point spread, it's pretty, like hockey, I think difficult. I mean, the goaltender can step aside, but I think it's difficult.
Yeah, it'd be hard. Like Shesterkin to throw a game, it'd be hard for him to,
But gambling's a big problem in professional, well, just across the board, but particularly with athletes, because it's competitive.
But here's the topic I want to. So some people are saying it's the league's fault because they got into these relationships with MGM and all these gambling places. But I can see. But here's my point. So Rick Tocchet.
Yeah.
If he's going to gamble on sports and do it in the wrong way, the fact that the NHL has an agreement with MGM has got nothing to do with it. He's going to gamble because he wants to gamble.
I think I think a lot of people are saying, hey, gambling is everywhere now. You're on your phone, computer. And this is pretty new, I would say, within the past, 10 years maybe. And it's actually a big problem with kids in high school.
Yeah. Well, listen, there's plenty of stories about NHL players that go on road trips. I haven't heard them recently, but there was where guys would bring like a bag of $50,000 in cash to pay off bookies and stuff.
I won't name names, but there were two guys on the Rangers that they knew every casino in every city. Yeah. Right. And one of them pulled out of his pocket a roll that would choke a horse.
But again, do you agree the fact that the NHL or the pro sports leagues now are in Vegas, have these sponsors that are gambling places, really doesn't mean that the athletes then are going to gamble? No. They got to gamble because they want to gamble. It's got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame because he bet on his own team, but he bet on his own team to win.
Right. Yeah, I know.
It's just the appearance, I guess.
Well, and the leagues have to crack down because if they start, it's a huge source of revenue, right? So if that credibility supposedly goes away.
Well, the basketball player, though, there were some passes that he made that were like,
oh, yeah.
He just handed it to the other team.
See, here's our debate got going pretty good here, William Hayes. So his nephew's a police officer who was there with him, said, hey, come along for a ride, you'll see. No, I have no question. I would see. There's no. I'm not debating that.
But yeah, the gambling. It's
Well, even you go back to Michael Jordan, who had to leave the NBA for a year to go play baseball. It wasn't because he wanted to play baseball.
I truly believe his father, at the end, what happened to his dad, may have had something to do with it.
Yeah. How about Shohei Ohtani? I mean,
Yeah.
he threw his interpreter under the bus. And listen, maybe it was all true, but I don't think it was true. But they didn't want to.
Yeah.
They want Shohei Ohtani.
He did throw him under the bus, just no one understood him. Yager too. Apparently, Yager.
Yeah, he was going. Apparently, the plane had come and pick him up to bring him to the casino. He was such a gambler. Oh,
Michael Jordan used to bet up to $1 million playing golf.
Oh, really?
That's when you know you've made money. Yeah.
I have never.
I don't gamble.
Yeah, even if I had all that money, I don't think I would do that. I just don't. Yeah, I don't get the.
Yeah, everybody knows you don't win.
Yeah,
you win today, but you're gonna.
Would that be categorized as our first debate that we've had?
No.
We've had it, but not to that level. You and I.
No, but I think any debate we have is always political, or not.
Yeah,
political. Yeah.
But it's funny because you and I both kind of on the same side of but it's
not everything. Yeah, on this particular subject, we just really polar opposite, and I think it's because of our perspectives.
Yeah, right.
Because I train a lot of law enforcement. I have a lot of friends like Bill Brown who are in the military and SEALs, and so my core belief is this: that law enforcement, by and large, are doing a job.
Yeah,
that's a very dangerous job, one that you may not come home. And if there is an interaction that occurs and there is a fatality, it's not always clear cut what happened.
Totally, 100% agree on that on both sides, right? It's a two-way street.
Yeah, of course. Are there innocent people that? Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And like any other profession, probably 90% are fantastic people. There's this. I shouldn't even use a number. There's a certain percentage in any occupation that are just not good people. Right?
And I also feel that if there is an innocent, unfortunately, that's shot and killed, was it the intent of the law enforcement agent, or was it lack of training, which is a huge problem?
Well, I think that's the big part of it.
To me, I think the biggest issue.
Because when I watch a video of somebody shooting somebody, I look at it that they were afraid for their life.
Right.
All they knew was to protect themselves. Totally, I would do the exact same thing. So they're armed with a weapon. How do I protect myself? I think this person's trying to kill me. I'm going to kill them first. Totally understand. If they were trained better and be able to disarm that person in a better way, you're right.
And Bill Brown would tell you that when he went through BUDS and training afterward, they call it SITs. It's called stress inoculation training, and they'll put a hood over you and they'll lift the hood up, and you got to make a decision real quick: who's the bad guy, who's the good guy. And they'll run through that 7 or 8 evolutions, back to back to back to back. And we've done it. We did it on a mountain one day with a bunch of guys. You cannot believe, even though it's simulated, how stressful that is and what that does to your body and what it does to your brain.
Sure.
Unfortunately, we don't have the resources to do that with our law enforcement agents.
Right.
Just can't do it. I trained 2 kids privately this summer that were in the New York Police Academy. When they went for defensive tactics, they were in a room, 600 people, 1 instructor.
Yeah. Maybe we should argue more often. Apparently, it's pretty entertaining. I get you guys on full blast in the garage. My wife tuned in. Well, it's true. It is very interesting when people, if you can disagree respectfully, I think it's very entertaining. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's the problem is that you watch CNN or Fox and they get somebody on and they talk over them. But that's
well, that's all scripted. That's
totally.
all scripted.
Totally.
Like that. Yeah. But look, healthy debate is called healthy debate because it's healthy.
Totally.
It just shows that we care. It shows that we really.
I guess we got to do that more often. That's pretty funny. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that us debating.
But there's not really many things that we disagree upon. But this one we do.
That's very true. Yeah. What was I going to bring up? Our boy Billy Tibbetts. Tibbetts, is that?
Yeah.
So if anybody hasn't watched, what's he call himself on Instagram or Facebook or?
Super Billy something.
Okay, so Billy Tibbetts, people who don't remember, was an NHL player, pretty good player, tough guy,
good player,
but total nutcase on and off the ice. Right. Like, didn't he get into legal trouble and everything too, like drugs?
He did. He was convicted and served time for statutory rape, which prevented him from playing any games in Canada.
Oh,
so yeah, he had some.
Okay, I didn't know about the statutory rape. To me, that's a subject.
Yeah, I think it was when he was a young man and she was 16.
Oh.
One of those kind of things.
Right. But hopefully he's past all that. But at the Big Time Billy show, Michael Elwood.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Good job. Michael Elwood's on top of it.
He's on point, this guy.
Yeah.
Good job, Mike. He's at Billy.
I tell you what, he is one of the most entertaining guys I've seen. Yeah.
And every once in a while, he gets serious because I guess his family owns a boatyard up in Situate, Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
And he was in front of the planning board, the town council.
Yes.
He presented himself very well. He was articulate. He made good points. But then when he has a few pops, he starts. Oh. But even then, he's talking about empty netter shouldn't count as a goal. And he's right.
Oh.
Why should you get like an empty netter count for your goal production?
Oh.
He's got some good thoughts, but he's out of his mind.
Yeah, you can kind of tell. You wonder, like, some shows, is he drinking or not?
Or is it
right?
an act?
Yeah. Because and you get the Boston accent, and he pours it on. Oh, he's funny. Everybody gets a chance to listen to him. Mark and I were debating either we should get a hold of him and be a part of it, or we should run the other way. Yeah. So, all right, fun stuff. Oh, that was good. I like that.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a brawl. That's good. But hey, listen, it's better you have that because it means that we both care.
Oh yeah, totally. You have a position on something.
Position.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having an opinion or a belief.
Yeah. And you know what, Mark? And again, you have played a huge role in my life in doing this, and I've learned more. I believe more and more. I don't think it's some secret. It's not like you and I have uncovered some master secret. But if you really want to be impactful in life, help other people, have the best life you can have possible, I think it's like you got to go all out. You've got to be the best version of Mark Putnam-Vink you can be, and believe in what you believe, and not worry that other people are going to not like you or whatever. So yeah.
So look, again, we have perspective. My perspective is been developed from interacting and working with law enforcement, training them, and actually on this particular subject, it's very particular to what I do because I'm teaching them to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Are there some cops or law enforcement agents I've trained that are maybe not the best of people? I would hope not. But maybe there is.
Yeah. Or are they great people that just get caught in a bad spot?
I think that's more the case.
Yeah, totally.
And again,
I won't mention a name, but I had he was becoming a very good friend of mine. I was doing a podcast with him many years ago. He's a retired Navy SEAL. Mm-hmm. I met him. I was part of this Warrior for Life Fund down in Virginia Beach with all the SEALs down there. He'd obviously been a SEAL. He was a breacher, as you know, so people are blowing down the doors and everything. But I guess, and you know this, apparently it's very bad for you, right? Like concussions because of the constant concussing noise. So we do a podcast. He called me up at one point during the podcast and said, "Tom, I can't do it anymore. I have to go in for rehab. My drinking's just got out of hand." Mm-hmm. Apparently he missed being with the teams. So he turned to drinking. So I had a problem. So he, and again, I won't mention the name because I don't know much he must know, but he went and did the psilocybins one day and the toad poison, that whole ceremony.
Yeah. There's this former SEAL, Marcus Capone on the West Coast.
Right.
He's doing a great job bringing them down, and it's a clinical setting. It's not like you're sitting in the woods getting high, and they're getting great results from ayahuasca.
Well, no, it wasn't ayahuasca he did.
Or ayahuasca, but they're similar. It's all
So this whole ceremony. Yeah. So I talked to him after. This goes back a couple of years ago. So I talked to him after that. Totally different person. Cleaned up his life. Quit drinking. I hadn't spoken to him recently. Gave him a call the other day, Saturday. And I view this as a fantastic story. I totally admire him. Some people may think it's crazy, but he's in the seminary now. He's going to become a priest. Yeah. And you could tell he was kind of like, okay, I'm going to tell Tom, but what's his reaction going to be? And to me, what I've learned is it doesn't matter if you want to be in the seminary, you want to be a SEAL, you want to be a trainer, going to Salt Lake, whatever you want to do it. Again, what I admire is that if you're going to be a priest and go to seminary, it's a 7-year. Yeah, 7-year commitment. You're celibate, you're alcohol, not swearing. I told him this. I admire you, brother. I think it's fantastic that you've got
like
that.
you said, if you're gonna do something, it's all in, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna jump in the pool, get wet.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so here's one of my all-time best friends back in college, Walt Kyle's brother, John.
Oh yeah.
So what he says, okay, I agree with Mark. Now remember, him and I are great friends, so he's kind of going against me a little bit here. So it's obviously he's total belief here. Respect law enforcement, do what they tell you, never have a problem. If you want to argue with them, do it in court at a later date. Okay.
I think that's a great point.
Yeah. John Kyle, what a legend he is. So Walt was one brother that we've talked about several times, was coach of the Rangers, and John was the other brother. The three of us lived together. And I know I've told this story, but John and Walt, their father, fantastic man. We've lost him since, but he gave them a car to have up at college. And so we had the agreement that we were always together. You know, if we didn't go to class much, but we'd drive to practice games, whatever. So we would take turns filling the car up with gas.
Right.
So one day I think it was Walt's fault. Maybe Junior would chime in here. Walt didn't buy the gas a certain day. It doesn't matter. It could have been my fault too. But we were also stubborn. We were, I think, maybe a half mile from a gas station, but we sat there for hours. We ran out of gas. Nobody would get out of the car.
You did.
Yeah, you did it. And then we get to the point where we just sat there. Nobody was talking at all. It was, I think Walt will tell it, or Junior will tell the story. But
yeah, I mean, I was really fortunate that Walt, when I was with New York, he was an assistant to Ronnie Lowe.
Yeah.
Great guy, man. I love Walt.
Totally.
I mean, we had a really good staff there. Ronnie's a great guy. I don't know how well you know Ronnie. Walt, and then Teddy Green, terrible Teddy Green.
Yeah.
You want to talk about an old school guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was awesome.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to disagree more often. You guys are the best shows, very entertaining. That is funny. Yeah, we get into it.
Well, you know what, Tom, I would say this. I think you'll agree, Tom. We're both fighters. Like when we believe something, we're not going to back down.
Totally.
And and that's a good thing, because again, if you're going to be in, be in. Well, either you believe it or you don't.
Yeah. What they said in the Matrix, there's one line. He says, "Don't think you are, know you are." Right.
Yeah.
So
that doesn't mean I can change my belief. I mean,
right. But then that's a good point.
Yeah.
Don't change it just because somebody tells you to change it. You change it because somebody has convinced you that. Okay.
In fact, I did say I agree with you on that one incident.
Yeah. One out of one.
Well, I'm sure there's more.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
But no. So anyhow. Yeah.
No, that was cool. No, I honestly, that's cool. I'm glad we did that. That was fun. Yeah, good deal. Yeah, I got the full spectrum on that. All right, everybody, have a fantastic week again. Especially with all the stuff. There's so much stuff going on in the world. 988 hotline, taking care of each other. And you know what? We talk about all the bad stuff that's going on, but there's a lot of fantastic people in the world.
Oh, listen.
Yeah.
I happen to be involved here with a really good thing we're doing here in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Kids play for free. Yesterday we did a mentorship program where we took the older kids, 18 U's. Yep. And they're responsible now for 8 U's. So they have a mentor to work with.
Very cool.
And we did a whole workout. We had stations set up where the mentors were with the kids. And,
there's so many more fantastic people in the world than there are bad people. It's just we hear about the bad people all the time. So let's not forget.
Kevin Colley, I'm coaching with, and Kevin, you play with his dad, Tom.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. All right, buddy. Have a fantastic week.
I'm trying to get the thumb to go again. It's not working.